Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaim here, and today we're going to be talking about the Melmetal suspect test that just took place. We have the results, and Melmetal is still banned. Unfortunate does not begin to describe. I have Finchinator with me here today as well, one of the OU tier leaders. Say hi, buddy.
Hey guys, what's up?
Finch, if you guys didn't know, is a friend of mine for a long time, and he also uploads a lot of competitive tournament content, and I do want to get back into tournaments. I'm actually really excited to play Grand Slam, because I feel like Grand Slam is like the most fun for me, and obviously World Cup is coming up too, but we'll see if I'm even playing in that, especially because East is kind of like,
oh, we're stacked, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, guys, so we're gonna be talking about the Melmetal assessment test, our thoughts on it, and if you guys didn't know, I voted unbanned, and so did Finchinator, and so did a lot of other prominent OU people like ABR, just to name a few like that, Sabella. So do you want to give your thoughts on it, and then I'll just kind of go back and forth, like.
Sure thing. So Melmetal obviously is a really good Pokemon. I mean, you see the stats. It has mammoth attack and defense. You could run defensive sets with Acid Armor plus Body Press, or just Choice Band and wreck everything. But a lot of the Pokemon that are common here are kind of like natural checks and counters to it. You see Seismitoad, Corviknight, Rotom Heat, Toxapex, Ferrothorn, even Hippowdon can come and check it with Rocky Helmet. So I was like, wow, Melmetal is like a new type of Pokemon. It's really good, but it's kept in check, so it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But obviously a lot of people saw it differently, and that's fine too.
I think that the main thing that made people go into this thinking that they wanted to ban immediately was when Melmetal was first released, the main set that people used that kind of put in work, besides obviously people were discovering the body press towards it getting banned, but was Choice Band, right? Because it was little to no drawback. You would see Excadrill come in and then they'd kill it. You'd see Cinderace and they'd kill it. Aegislash would be, bopped by it. But as I was playing now and as I was doing my Rex as well, I did not ever have any success with Choice Band Melmetal, period, in this. And I think, like you said, a lot of natural answers are there. We have Ferrothorn, for instance, with Rocky Helmet, or Iron Barbs can deal with it. Hippowdon just needs to run a little bit of speed to speed creep other Melmetal that need to run a lot of speed. And Rocky Helmet will help deal with it. Corviknight flat out walls the Choice Band set as well, Toxapex too. And these are all very prominent Pokemon, specifically Seismitoad, Ferrothorn, and Toxapex, because of Pokemon like Dracovish in the tier. And then when you have the Iron Defense Body Press set, which I think is really good, and I also think Toxic Protect is super good too, and I know you had success with it, and actually the team that I used to get Rex was that team that you used. I did it on stream. And
those teams are solid. Sure.
Exactly, because they actually punish the switch-ins, and I think the coolest thing about Melmetal was like you bring it in on the cleft double, and then they cannot teleport Wish past. But I didn't feel like, me personally, I didn't feel like it was such a strain on team building that it's in that sense broken, like I
couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
You kind of can use the same Pokemon in teams. Yes, you had to pick from a select pool of, let's say, 5 or 7 Pokemon that had to be used, one of them to keep it in check, but in reality those Pokemon combined to almost 100% usage anyway if you think about it. So that's kind of how I saw it.
Exactly. I mean there's a reason why this mediocre water ground type has 44% usage, and I don't mean to dump on Seismitoad like that, because I think it's exactly. I don't mean to dump on Seismitoad like that, because I think it's always been a niche Pokemon in OU. Last generations we've seen it a couple times too, because it could check Greninja with Toxic and Protect, and obviously this generation they gave it Power Whip and they gave it Liquidation, so it actually had like good water stab and whatnot.
It's really cool.
But there is absolutely no reason this Pokemon should have 40-something% usage, and I like, we're going back to the same thing. I think the main thing that people went for, and I could see this, is that Melmetal invalidates hyper offense, or makes hyper offense worse, which I do agree.
Yes.
I do agree.
Especially the defensive sets with Acid Armor, because then you're just
you can't you win.
You use 6 physical attackers, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, how is this dying? And it just doesn't die. And it just
exactly. And similarly to that, like if it's a Choice Band Melmetal, it still takes 2 Pokemon to kill it. And I know I keep going back to Dracovish, but I feel like Scarf Dracovish versus Hyper Offense is the exact same thing. You hit it with your Excadrill lead, and then you go Zero Aura or Bisharp, Sucker Punch or Plasma Fist, it's dead. Same thing with Melmetal. You hit it with your Excadrill lead, it kills you, and then you go something fast into Revenge Kill. But obviously, again, in the Body Press, in the Body Press Iron Defense set, it makes sense. And I think another reason why people were so against it, which I feel like this is not a reason to not ban a Pokemon. This is not a reason to ban it as well. Like the whole, oh, well, Melmetal being here means that Wish, Teleport, Clef can't be a thing. And I feel like that's such a, I don't know. I personally, I did say, hey.
Some people.
I would definitely admit that, and I don't want to be a hypocrite, I would definitely admit that part of the, before I even used Melmetal, right? Before I even used Melmetal, the first video that I did with it, I was like, hey, vote no ban because I'm having fun, right? But obviously, as I kept going, it's not like, oh, crap, man, I have to use Rotom Heat, the best Rotom this generation on my team.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like so
I'm with you, man.
Yeah, I feel like the metagame is just so... It's already centralized to a point where... Not centralized, but like there's so many limiting Pokemon in a sense that, like, look at Kyurem. Kyurem, for example.
Yep.
Look at Dracovish. Look at Kyurem. Look at Teleport
You can even
Clefable.
say things like Clefable or Conkeldurr, for example.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Look at Conkeldurr. Look at Clefable. Like, they're the same. It's very interesting, and I feel like that the reason when it was originally banned had a lot to do with the fact that Kyurem Black was also around. So
Yes.
it was way easier to punish.
Abuse it.
Exactly, because Kyurem Black could just break through everything. So, I mean, you could actually use Choice Band alongside it while Kyurem Black was breaking everything, whether it would be Dragon Dance or what I think Life Orb sets were honestly better, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
that's an opinion from there. So, I'm a little bit sad that Melmetal is banned personally because I do think that it brought some fresh stuff to the builder. I do want to show the team that you made real quick. I'm gonna show it real quick on my stream. Turn on screen share just so you could share screen as well. Application window. Here you go. There, you see that? You should be able to see that, I believe. No problem.
Yeah, I do see that.
Yeah, no worries. I really loved like this team in particular because I feel like it really took advantage of the Toxic Melmetal. Protect was great for scouting in general, and obviously the leftovers recovery made differences in living like dark pulses for my Dragon and whatnot. And I really did love that. Like, and even in this team, the check to Melmetal is like you need to weaken it to knock it out. Excuse me. Knock it out with Flamethrower. You have Seismitoad here, and I love the rest tech, which is really cool. But I feel like this was like this is not a standard build in my opinion. This is not a standard build. Like,
no, it's a bit more offensive because you don't have Clefable as the fair, you have Togekiss.
Exactly.
So you got to be a bit more aggressive. You got to punish their plays, which is why that Melmetal arguably is kind of as viable as this.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. And I like the fast Mandibuzz was so cool too. I mean, this is just me admiring your team at this point. I just want to show you guys like what I used while I was playing.
And also it's always cool seeing Incineroar as an OU Pokemon.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's so viable with the heavy duty boots and everything. But I don't know. I see where people came from for the ban for it, but I feel like
definitely.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't the majority rules, but I still feel like it wasn't the right call, and that's my personal opinion right there.
I agree, but also something that's worth noting is that after DLC happens, there is a chance we retest it again.
Yeah.
And also on top of that, right now, as you saw, it took 60% to overturn it.
Yeah.
In the future, it might only take 50%. We're actually working on that. So who knows? We might see an OU with Melmetal one day, either this generation, next generation. So don't close out your hope if you find about this. You never know.
It's just so interesting because, like, again, as I was playing, like I told you in the beginning, like from, oh man, don't ban it because it's fun. But again, as I keep playing, it wasn't even the same mon that what it was when it first dropped. It was not at all.
It plays entirely differently. And
Exactly.
it's arguably more versatile, which is good for it.
Yes,
but
yes.
at the same time, there's so much more counterplays than we initially noticed. Like, it wasn't just this fun thing we could spam and get kills and make the tier more proactive. No, it was actually like a balanced, integral part of the metagame, one could argue.
Yeah, I think one reason why it also did so well is because HO was so popular because you had Kyurem and you could use Veil and Lucha next to Zeraora. So obviously a choice band Melmetal is going to do that. But I do also...
I mean, you just pick off the Veil turn 1, then pick off the next thing turn 3, etc., you know?
Yeah, exactly. And again, I do agree, though, that we can't disagree that it is a limiter for hyper offense. But in terms of uncompetitive, I couldn't see it. Like, I personally
I wasn't
couldn't.
there either, and a lot of good players did think that way, and that's completely fine. There's differences of opinion that always happen, and that's okay.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think one thing that Josh did say that was really cool, though, he mentioned how, what did you say here? He mentioned how Melmetal will be retested, but he also told me before the OU Council is looking at potentially a Clef suspect, potentially a Dracovish suspect.
And
what's the other one?
Briefly touch on
Kyurem.
that. Kyurem.
Yeah.
So personally, and I'm an individual for the record, despite being tier leader, one individual opinion only can go so far. I personally would be okay with looking into Teleport or Clefable, Dracovish, and Kyurem. Other people I still need to talk to, hoops we need to jump through, and more importantly, we just need to see how the metagame develops. Because this happened really close to the end of the arena trap suspect. So we want to kind of give it a little time to settle, but all these things definitely are problematic, and we could look into any of them. Dracovish in particular is something that's been brought up a ton of times by Joey and others, and I mean, it limits you. It is checkable.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's broken.
Example,
Like, yeah, I just want to clarify. I don't think Dracovish is broken, but there are only 4 Pokemon currently in OU.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much have to use one of Seismitoad, Toxapex, Ferrothorn, or...
I was trying to, like, when I said 4, I was thinking Gastrodon. Like, that was it.
Gastrodon, yep, sure. And Gastrodon's a decent Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but it's incredibly niche. The only reason you're using it is for that or Rotom Heat, pretty much. So,
like I said, guys, there's a reason why Seismitoad, this mediocre, not mediocre, but this niche Pokemon has over 40% usage.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and then even then, like, I think another thing that's extremely limiting is Clefable. Like, to the point of, or at least Wish with it. What's the term? It's not limiting. It's not the term I'm looking for. It's
weird. It
it's
gives
central.
people
It's,
so
it's
many
central.
chances.
Yeah. I don't think chip damage exists with Teleport.
No, because like I could even when I was using Melmetal, one thing that I thought was really good about Twister and Melmetal is you take like, let's say 70% from Earthquake from Excadrill. By 5 turns later, you could Wish put it up back like
Exactly, and you knock it out with double iron bash.
That I thought was more Clefable than it was Melmetal.
Yeah, exactly. The good thing about sub Melmetal or like Body Press, whatever, was that it did force Clefable not to teleport immediately. Like if you got it in the Clefable, they couldn't safely switch. They could, which is a big thing, not being able to safely switch. If you're running Toxic, if you're running Body Press, if you're doing anything like that. One of the things I loved about it is like when they ran Clef plus Rotom Heat, I would sub, and then if you have enough Spadef, defensive Rotom Heat doesn't break your sub with Volt Switch. They have to overheat. While taking,
and then once they overheat, all of a sudden -2 overheat if they're not Will-O-Wisp, which is very uncommon nowadays because the Toxic's more common. Then all of a sudden you can actually win the 1v1 if it's taking a little chip damage, and that's
exactly.
Really cool.
Exactly. But a lot of that again, like, was Clef. It's Clef that does that. And
yeah, Clef enables it. It's the catalyst, and I'm not saying Clefable's broken because by definition it's not.
No.
But I would not be shocked at all if sometime, perhaps after DLC, depending on what new toys get, it's looked into in the near future.
Yeah, I agree. Because I don't think the move Teleport is broken. I think it's really cool that Pokemon like Arcanine can use it and like...
It is.
Yeah.
I think that there's a case to look into Teleport and a case to look into Clef, and I think that's probably going to have a whole PR discussion before we get into the suspect. So I can't comment on which it'd be, but that whole concept is definitely controversial.
But in order to look at it though as a move itself, you would have to prove that the move itself is broken. Right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a certain burden of proof there that would fall on the move because normally we suspect Pokemon, of course. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And it's that's the same reason why UU, for example, suspected, though they brought it to they canceled their bans and votes and whatever, and they brought it to PR to people in general. But there's a reason why they didn't immediately ban Drought, but they were testing Torkoal and Vapum and Ninetales, and the reason for that is because it would still leave Vulpix, which in theory could still get up Sun. But we would have to prove that Drought would be broken in that sense. And it's the same thing why you guys ban Arena Trap versus Ductrion itself. And it's already been proven before how, me and plenty of others have used Trapinch and Diglett while laddering, at least in previous generations. And even like, I've used Trapinch recently too in this OU tier.
You get Trapinch for Seismitoad, then Dracovish kills everything.
Exactly. That's, as funny as that sounds, that's a literal thing that has worked. It's a literal thing. You run like Spadef and you do that, yeah. So... they would have to prove that, but I do think, and there's another thing, like, Wish plus Teleport would be a complex ban, right? I think Clefable would be the only Pokemon that could do that. Maybe Xatu. I know Chansey cannot.
Xatu could do it as well. Chansey, I think there's a compatibility issue. Don't quote me on that.
I believe so, too.
But yeah.
Yeah, so that would be something like that. But yeah, guys, like, in theory, I feel like it would have been cool to give Melmetal a fair chance as well, but... As Finch said, this is something that we see in the future with the DLC. The metagame is going to change in 2 months' time. So we'll see exactly how it goes.
Keep up to that.
Yeah, and one other thing I just wanted to note. Thanks so much, Finch, for being here. I really do appreciate it. And guys, if you want to, this post that's been on your page, I'm going to link it down below. It's a very good post by Finch and kind of goes really into detail about his thoughts on Melmetal. But another thing is that Dynamax was not banned in random battles. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. My thoughts on that is that first off, I recently found out that random battles follows the Uber's tiering, which is why they even had a suspect test to begin with. I had no idea. Right?
Me neither, man.
Yeah, and this dude at OU Tier Leader, he had no idea.
No clue.
So like I don't think Dynamax and Rambats is broken. I think that Uber's being able to Dynamax is broken, very similar to the actual Uber's tier. So going back to that just really quick, because this has really nothing to do with the video. If they wanted to suspect test that, I feel like they should do that with Uber's. Like they should just suspect test Uber's being able to Dynamax. Period. Because like there's a huge difference between you Dynamaxing your Necrozma or your Necrozma Dust Main or your Ho-Oh versus me Dynamaxing my Turtonator. That way I don't get swept by your 6 Ubers. So
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Random Battle should be able to subscribe to something like that. It's not like a mainstream tier like OU, so it's sure to be able to idealize it to the format, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But again, those are just my thoughts. Do you have anything else you want to say on Melmetal, Dracovish, or anything? Like even Dracovish in general? Or like,
I mean, Dracovish is obviously a great Pokemon. I actually am getting used to using Choice Band a lot more, which is ridiculous because I only used Scarf recently before that. And I'm like, wow, it's just turning heads, opening eyes. I mean, it's very limiting, and I wouldn't be shocked to see something in the future. This isn't a guarantee, by the way, so don't come and hunt me down.
Nah, but I mean...
But, we're definitely going to discuss it, and I'd keep your eyes open for future suspects. You know, maybe even a retest down the line, who knows? But there's going to be a lot of stuff with OU in the future, so I'm really looking forward to all that myself personally.
Hey, well, thank you so much for being here. The final thing I want to ask you is, what do you think about Tyranitar? And the fact that it might be the only pseudo-legendary I mean, I guess Garchomp got banned, technically, so it's not like it dropped. But what do you think about the fact that it might be UU for the first time ever?
So, I'm going to lend everyone a little piece of advice. Use Choice Bands Tyranitar with Heavy Slam.
It's so good!
It's playable in one hit.
It's so good!
It's hard to fit on your teams, but when you fit it, it's still good.
To be honest, I'm going to be real, bro. I don't think you even need Heavy Slam. I think Ice Punch is better to do close to 50% to Como. In my...
That's fair, too. I've been using Heavy Slam just because the thought of killing Clef in one hit gives me so much satisfaction.
Well, Stone Edge is 90%, which is crazy as well.
But you always miss Stone Edge.
Yes, that's 100%. I think the other thing about that is that Crunch is so crazy. You do like 40-something% to Clef.
Crunch, even into like Mandibuzz or Clefable. You're doing so much, getting the chance to drop it, etc.
Yeah, I think it's a good Pokemon. People think it's mediocre. I understand why, because Hippowdon's just so good right now because of what's available.
You can use both on the same team.
Yeah, and they're good, and they're hella good together.
100%. Tyranitar is not the best Pokemon. It's not the behemoth it was in other generations because Pursuit's gone. But it's still so good. It should never drop from OU.
I remember, again, really quick, guys. I remember before Dragapult started running Will-O-Wisp Hex sets, we saw in a tournament play Tyranitar plus Wish, and it was disgusting.
Yes.
It was disgusting because they were not able to break through with their Hydreigon. I think plus 2 Hydreigon did like 40% in the sand or something like that. It was like Assault Vest as well.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's a good Pokemon. I mean, I have a little series right now that saved T-Tar. It's just a fun thing. It's not like M-Pump to the top where I'm taking control.
I actually saw someone laddering saying that, and I was like, wait, T-Tar's in jeopardy of falling UU? That's crazy.
It was like 0.2% off or something. Like really, really close. And but yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let me know your thoughts on Melmetal. Let me know your thoughts on the Dynamax. Let me know your thoughts on T-Tar. And as well as the fact that OU may in the future suspect Pokemon like Clefable. I feel like that'd be really good for them. I don't think Clefable's broken either. But I do feel like if it did get suspected, it would definitely be banned. Just because people are so annoyed about it. Which is, I mean, people, that's their prerogative, you know. Like, you can't force somebody to vote a certain way. But Finch, thank you so much for coming on, guys. If you love competitive content, get over there. I'm going to do some videos with Finch as well. And I also want to get back into uploading and playing in tournaments. So this is the guy. I'm going to do a video versus him like I did versus the Cheater Star Master. And we'll see you guys. Peace.